Hi, good evening. Welcome to Mystic Moons. As usual, it's late or very early the next day. It's dark outside, it's rainy. I'm upstate in the mountains. It's like, we had a very mediocre look for the fall. Upstate, they used to brag about years ago, not even that many years ago, 5 years ago or so, even probably. Brilliant reds, fantastic yellows, stuff like that. Comforting oranges. Now all we have is mute. We have dead leaves, dead leaves, dead leaves. And you could say it's because of 5G, it's because of chemtrails. God knows what it's from. But one thing is, New York has been, over the past, I guess, 10 years or so, something like that, the colors from way up north to further closer to New York City have become more and more drab. And life in New York is rather drab too. Here we're talking about food stamps. Now, they've been talking about in the press about food stamps. And it's going to bring chaos and people will go nuts, and the lazy people who are using food stamps. Now, food stamps, you would say, oh, I don't, what do I care about food stamps, right? It's not something that's spiritual. Of course, eating and keeping your body together, which is the temple of your being in this existence, is spiritual, right? It's not just physically eating and defecating. There's much more. Well, I think we should examine the real nature of food stamps. Now, food stamps is big business. Now, that's what they don't say. They just say, oh, 1 in 8 Americans are on food stamps. What does that say to you? Think about it. Think about if 1 in 8 humans, are on food stamps. Now, let's say everybody gets $100. Like, first of all, food stamps is not just stamps. Okay, so you're feeding somebody's belly. True. But you're also bringing that money into that chain, that Wegmans, that Hannaford, the ShopRite, Shop and Stop, whatever they call them. Whatever they call them. A store that sells food is getting money from the people who have food stamps. Now think about it. This is business, just like any other business. And it's like you're paying the theory, or you hear about they're paying people to like be lazy, or paying people to take care of them. No. It's much more complicated. There's no free lunch, in a sense that, yes, they are using certain dollars. Well, you could even say, okay, so it's better than bombing somebody and killing somebody or imprisoning somebody. You're feeding somebody who one day may solve the most critical problems facing humanity. It's all these things you could say. But check this out. Now, you go, okay, let's see, there's 30,000 people are getting food stamps, like in New York, so they say. So each one spends $100. That would be that would be almost $3 million. $3 million, because we're saying 30,000 people are on food stamps. They say 3 million. No, excuse me. It's not 30,000. We're saying they say 3 million people are on food stamps in New York State. All right. Now, if each one of them spent $1, that would be $3 million into your community or your neighbor's community as dollars, right? Now, let's say if they spend $10, that $3 million would be $30 million. If they spent, let's just put the zero on the figure. And then if they each spent 100, that would be two more zeros. So that would be 3 million, that would be $3 billion. Do you get what I'm talking about? Just keep on putting the zeros and thinking about, and you know what it means? It means that the people, not only the shops that are selling food who accept food stamps, it's because those jobs in those supermarkets are paid by those dollars. Gabish? You understand? You understand what I'm saying? But let's just say the troops. Now, we've been talking about how deranged hunger people are going to be playing Hunger Games in the city streets. Now let's ask the spirits, how likely, let's just say cosmic energy, tell us. Exactly. Besides, people being the usual spiel, people going insane because they can't eat. Now, people do go nuts if they don't eat, but they want to eat too. They go nuts for lots of reasons. But however, with layoffs, how many layoffs this week? Layoffs, layoffs from your job, 60,000, 100,000, there's been over 120,000 job layoffs. Unemployment, some of them get unemployment, lots of them don't get unemployment because we have contractors who are doing, after the HB1s, we have contractors, American contractors, so they don't have the groceries. They're paying the high rents, $3,000 to $5,000 to $6,000 a month, and the utility bill. Well, you know what I'm talking about. But we're talking the truth, and then they're going to have the troops come in. Now, the troops come on, getting us more used to having. Don't trust your local police, who may or may not be cool. You know what I mean? Cool, like do their job, or they're just overbearing, or they just don't have the intellect, or they just put on a costume and they think that I can beat you over the head, sucker. However, some of them, lots of cops are great, but lots of cops aren't great. So you really can't have a general statement. It's individual, right? It's individual. Hey, how are you doing? Now, look, food stamps. We're talking about food stamps in martial law. We're asking cosmic energy. We're being programmed to think one way, but the actuality, the money aspect of things. Now, in the state of New York, the governor is giving 65 millions to food pantries. Not to the people. She could each give that 65. Now, do the math. Do the math. If there's 3 million people getting food stamps, why can't now, this is the bureaucracy. 3 million people in New York getting food stamps. Why can't they just give 3 million people their food stamps? It's more complicated, because if it was so easy, they need the money to trickle through the different areas of employment, because more people would be laid off, which even 1 week of missing 300K, $3 million. Remember now, if we have 3 million in New York, if they each spent $1, that would be $3 million. Correct? $3 million. Now they spend 1 week, and that's only $1, one food stamp dollar. Now, if they, how are you? Thank you very much. Now, bear with me. Just do the math. Think about this money-wise, right? Money, money, money. Now, let's ask the spirits. And the first card I'm going to get, I'm going to see. We're just going to start this. The truth. This one's poking its head out. What else is? Let's see. And, which one? This one. All right. Now, let's see. All right. This one. Okay. Now we'll take these 4 cards. Now the scenario is go crazy because you can't eat your hot dogs, or you can't have your bag of chips. And we know it's much more complicated than that, right? We know it's much more complicated. But this is the official story. The first thing we get is death. Death. So okay. Now death is, in this case, we're talking about food stamp crazies, food stamp disorder, food stamp and martial law. Right. That's why they're expecting chaos. They need to have the people, us, in a state of frenzy, because we can't understand, because of the way the rhetoric is, of the whole entirety of the system needs to have the chaos. They need to have the martial law. They need to have more troops. They need to put the troops everywhere. And what is the quickest way to put the troops? On the food pantries, on the Salvation Army, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. They need to make more things militarized. They need to have more evidence. So you have your paid agitators. I'm going to rob this. I'm going to do this. Well, there's always people that will do anything for like a smile, a kiss, a bag of Fritos, or a $10 bill. We know that. this is something, yes, it is a spirit. This is what is going on, martial law, food shortages. Now, we all know that they've been like recalling this, and this, and that, and this, and that. You're going to get fungus in your mouth if you eat certain things. They have to recall, 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 recall. Now, this is a plan. Everything is planned. Everything has been done before, and there's reasons behind it. Now, are we going to? We can turn off the agitation. We could like, oh, we can do a lot of things. But however, this card, death, the change card. This is something that's coming up. This could also be a symbol of the rationality is out the window. We're all paranoid because people are flipping. They keep on ranching up the agitation, right? Yet they have money for like nuke testings. They have money for corporations. But do they have money for the people to continue? And you could say, yes, they're lazy, but if your unemployment has run out, you don't have a job, you can't pay this, you can't pay that, what are you supposed to do? Oh, yeah, they want you to get in the streets and cry and yell and scream, which just takes a lot of energy to get out there and walk a few blocks and just create chaos. Chaos. See, the system is twisting us. So you got to think for a moment. Think for a moment that is this a society we want to live? Do we want to live in a third world, which we are now third world? Okay, so some of us are upper classes, have choices of smoking a bong or dropping an LSD thing while they go around fantasizing about, ooh, I'm so superior. Whereas the lower classes who are like scavenging, they're stoned as well. And they're going around listening and easily swayed because that's why we have the stoned population. And you say, oh, this is, it's one puzzle piece. Life right now is a puzzle piece, which is why I use this background here, a puzzle piece. Very much a puzzle piece of like what is in store for us. And so the first thing we have is death. The next card we have is Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles is like there's two sides. Who is the player and who's not the player? Who's the player? Could this be the power system? And this could be the respondents of or the members of the power system? Could be. Could be. But remember, we're talking about business. This could be corporations versus the people, the masses. The man of the people, do we have a man for the people? Do we have a people's man? Do we have a corporate man? And the corporations, of course, if they do martial law, who gains? Who gains? Arms dealers or the people, right? Now, the next card we got here is the Lovers. Now, this is a strange card. The Lovers. We have, Now, we can have people that power lovers, death, transformation, 2 for 2. This doesn't seem like the people. I'm getting the lovers of power, of control. We love you. We love you, so we're doing this act of kindness. Could this be a Hail Mary to the deadline? The government will stop its 30-day shutdown. I mean, we also have the planes crashing. We have, the airline people are not being have not been paid. They too are going to the food banks. They too are like filing. They're not getting paid. So I mean, we're hitting it from another angle. And then we have the Nine of Cups. This is a strange card. I mean, in some other reading, we can say this was a change for the better, a change for something, a change. We have the Lovers. We have to examine the Lovers. And this Nine of Cups is the anticipation of resolving this problem. Now, some governors have taken the preliminary steps of passing for their state members to have the funds for the people to eat. And some, I mean, to give them the food stamps, to pay for their individual food stamps, not the food pantries. I'm talking the actual payment to the individuals who are and will be increasing daily. And this is just a problem for now. We already know that our government is over budget, trillions of dollars. They say we have 50 trillion dollars over budget, but actually we know the number is like about 150, 160 trillion dollars. There's all sorts of like, where's the money gone, where, black money, black sites, stuff like that, dark sites. We use the word dark sites. Now, if people are like for instance, the troops haven't been paid, but they're guaranteed to be paid from the benevolent pocketbooks of Timothy Mellon as a friend of Trump. Now, Timothy Mellon, the Mellon family, is known for, they've gotten generations of wealth by energy and weapons. Now, it's kind of a coincidence, isn't it, that there's tie-ins. It's like a rug of weaving this and that and this and that. And one has to think about not just your refrigerator being empty, which all of us have had a refrigerator that's empty. Now, food stamps and the coming civil disorder. Well, let's look at this too, right? We know what the transformation is. Got it? We know what the transformation is. Let's look at that. Let's look at this Two of Pentacles. Now, the Two of Pentacles could be the government working for the people. It could be. And we could say, perhaps it is. Perhaps it is. However, maybe it's not. Let's just take a quick look at another deck and see if we could get some insight on this Two of Pentacles, right? Let me just grab it over here. All right. Now, let's cut this deck a little bit and see if we could find. Who are these Two of Pentacles? It seems like the power structure and the people, the rulers and the people being ruled, or the people, the representatives and the people. Let's just take 2 cards out of this. This feels like something. Get more insight. This one. All right. Let's just get some insight. Now, who are these Two of Pentacles? All right. Now we have the Queen of Wands and the Seven of Cups. Well, that's a blurred line, isn't it? The Queen of Cups, general feeling, helping, nurturing, receptivity, and also in control of the mental thoughts, the mentality involved, right? The Queen of Cups. Oh, this is how to think. This is what to do. This is how to react. This is the liquid for our minds. The liquid for our minds and hearts. And then we have the Seven of Cups. Now, the Seven of Cups is how we're going to play this game. How are we going to play this game? So I would say this Two of Pentacles is still not solid. It's not solid. Signs are still being drawn in terms of how far the people react, how much they can get the people, the masses, to react. If they can get a whole bunch of people acting like jaguars, banshees, jackals, then that's one way of dealing with it, the Seven of Cups. But if people like sit tight and they go, it stinks, This stinks because not only the people not eating, it's the people who are going to be laid off because there's no reason. You're not going to have the funds. These grocery stores are not going to have the funds to withstand retail corporations. You know, they pay heat, they pay electricity for that space, that 5,000 square space, 7,000, even a 600 square feet place of commerce. They're not going to have the funds, the electricity, the heat, and the water, the sewage, you know, things like that, and the insurance. So all of these things that are thinking now, you just can't think about the bag of chips that the bum gets down, this perceived bum gets down the road. We have to think about the commerce because we are a capitalistic country. And we're going to do a reading about socialism and capitalism because that's a blurred line. Okay, you got the idea, right? You got the idea. Now, Seven of Cups. So this Two of Pentacles is not exactly cast in cement. They're still going to where they're going to drop the body, drop the the guillotine. Where are we going to cut it off? Are we going to take the masses down to the last minute? Or are we going to come like a rescue? Who's going to be the hero, right? The hero. And that is the whole question of the Queen of Cups. And there's under this Two of Pentacles. Who is going to be the hero? Huh? So that is still in flux. So, I mean, most of this is, now the lovers. Now that's again, we're talking about money. We're not just talking about feeding people, being nice. We're talking about cash. We're talking about money. We're talking about corporations. Like the corporations, since this is the government where the corporations are getting the big everything, the big kahuna, the big, the largest pot. People are just, well, not yet entirely because we haven't had a completely robotic and software workforce yet. We're building that way. And like one thing about it is to tell people, oh, those filthy or those poor, demented, or stupid food stamp people are going to like riot in the street because they're not going to get their barbecue chicken, right? We're being told that. However, it's much more complicated. Think of it, food stamp are dollars, fiat money, dollars. And they pay workers in the supermarket. Not only the supermarket workers, there's the truckers. It goes the people, the gas money. Now the truckers, they did to haul the food to the stores. They need, gas money. They need wages. They need this. It's very complicated. You see the weaving. That goes on with this issue. And of course, the same thing with other people that are waiting for this government shutdown. However, food, you've got to sleep, you got to eat, you got to sleep, you got to eat. That's human for anything living, a living organism. And some of us have more control than others, but that's not the point right now. The point is putting the troops on the ground and creating the stage, the theater, the drama. You could say I'm being dramatic too. However, I'm getting sick and tired of being told a one-sided, one fraction of the pie is mine to listen to. Which we have here. React, people, react. Don't think, get stoned, be stupid, and listen to what we say. There's going to be riots in the streets. Be afraid. Somebody's going to rob your groceries in the parking lot. Okay. Now, as you remember, food stamps equal dollars, pay the salaries of a bunch of organizations, Because if those people do not go into the store with their food stamp dollars, got it? Those shelves are going to get even emptied faster than all the recalls they have about the different types of groceries. Salmonella in the chicken, in the mayonnaise, It's endless. The eggs are all funky. Now, the chocolate chips are funky. The point is, who's watching and they're waiting and they're counting tick, 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 tick about what industries are going to be affected because that money $9 million issued monthly, right? Nine, actually, it's probably nine. No, it's not. No, it's $9 billion. $9 billion paid monthly. You get these astronomical figures. Just think about it. If 1 in 8 persons in the United States is on food stamps, where do you what does that say? First of all, we're losing it. We're losing it big time. So whoever is watching this macabre, stupid, degrading show. So this is when the lovers come in. Who is enjoying this crap? Who is enjoying it? Someone healthy? Someone who's like trying to, like Americans are too cocky, too assured, too this, too spoiled. We have air conditioning, we have heat, we have cars, we have this, we have that. But wait, spiritually, what do we have? We've been like degrading. We've been shoveled crap. We're being shoveled crap. But we're not acting out enough. We're not dying fast enough. And we're not following the programs because we're listening to the universe. We're listening to the stars. We're looking at the heavens. We're wondering, what is our purpose in life? What are we doing? Now, they don't want you to think about your purpose. Your purpose is to the state. Your purpose is to fulfill an occupation and give sweat. And for your sweat, you get beans, rice and beans, chicken. You get stuff. You get the idea, right? Now, the lovers. Now, let me get another deck. This lovers. I'm very suspicious of this lovers because I don't feel a whole lot of compassion. I don't feel a lot of love. The love, I want you the best you can be. I don't feel. So let's take this shadow card. Let's see about this lovers. Let's open up this deck. All right? Now, this is like not any particular answer. This does not give you any particular yes or no in a sense like this. This deck is about reflections of a situation. Now, this lovers, and we know that we're not getting, smush, 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 smush. We're not getting, let me see these cards. I got to take this on the other side. And just shuffle them. Now, okay, who are these lovers? Who are these lovers? Are they lovers that were some insight? I mean, we have to look upon, if we live in a morally depraved or subtracting environment, the lovers are someones who are enthralled with demon energy. Demon energy. They're depraved. They're depraved. They're eating well. Are they going to be starving? No. And they go, oh, you poor, stupid people. In the United States, people are known worldwide as being the dumbest. The dumbest. That's all of us. The dumbest. That's what they said. I mean, you ask anybody, United States people are known to be stupid, dumb. They just don't pay attention. They only, okay, so you can blame it on a lot of things, but the fact of the matter is, it's our individual responsibilities to keep ourselves sharp, mentally sharp, and not with hearsay because somebody else, not me. Look up the facts yourself. Look it up, read books. Don't just take something, but think about it. Think about it with your two brains, your head and your two minds, and your stomach brains. Does this smell right? Does this feel like, why should people be like, oh, they're not going to get, and mind you, the people who are saying, that people are going to go crazy and riot, they're not in a strapped situation. They have food in their refrigerators. No. And they're worried about the Marie Antoinette French Revolution moment that they want to have here. And eventually, with enough people losing their jobs and scarcity and empty shelves, inaccessibility to have the gas to go to the store to get the food, or order it online, whatever you want to say. These are things. Now, the lovers, troops. Okay, troops. Hmm. It could just be the military. They want to get that martial law things going. What better if you can't have crime or crime and food? Guarding the food. That is so primordial. It's so primitive. Which one of these two? This one. It's so primitive. It's like, I must be your savior, you knaves. Not only are we dumb, we're also erratic and wild. We can't be tamed. Oh, can we? Or we need to be put in FEMA camps because we can't take care of ourselves. We can't think. Is this what the lovers? This is the kind of feelings I'm getting from this lovers. It's a control. Of course, it's all control. And they've sat down and think, how can we make these people nuts? Well, we can tell them they are nuts, right? Yes. This is very strange times. They don't want us to be champions and communicate with other planets, even though they told us they are millions and millions of planets, and billions of planets, actually, and millions of galaxies. But they don't want us. They want us thinking about our skin color, who we play. They want us not to be one. And if we're going to be one, they want us under someone's thumb, their thumb. But when energies are rising, it's hard to put the stuff back in. It's hard to stuff it. How can you make people submit? Humiliation, telling them they're like crap, telling them you expect them to this is all the feelings I'm getting from this lover card. I'm getting all this from this lovers. This is some sick love I'm getting. Sick love. But however, let's let the shadows talk more. I guess I got enough. All right, we'll take that one. I don't know if that one is totally. Put this one, that last one aside. Okay, the first one we get about this lovers. All right, the first thing we get is the King of Cups. It could be the aristocracy, the elite, the power structure. One side. Okay. And it's the King of Cups is total control. It also could be total control. The total control. Next card we got the Hierophant. Ooh, this is some big time control. This Lover's card. We got the King of Cups, and we got the Hierophant. It could be Congress, it could be statesmen, it could be a panel that was selected by a societies, upper tier society. This is how we do it. This is how to do it. Let's cut them off at the belly. And then we get justice. This justice. Actually, I would say very much this is a very controlled. This is the government shutdown. The government shutdown, the lovers. We rule you and we want to make you understand every day of your lives. Know your place. Know your place and know your rank. Understand? Know your rank. I feel a lot of rank in this. Don't you? Know your rank. Know your place. Know your place. And here we have the Eight of Cups. Do you see that journey? That long journey? They're searching and searching for ways. Block out the sun, funk up the air, the water, the food, synthetic foods, and of course we're buying to buy these synthetic foods. And then you see these long stairs. It's almost as though no, it's not almost. They're searching. The establishment is searching for ways to make certain people bow down because knowledge is coming out about too many things. Control. It's all about control. And I would say this is definitely the lovers is martial law guarding everything, or making you aware that they can call up the National Guard, the military, to protect the food and tell you how much to eat, how much to drink. They're making us into a national us, our comrades, our neighbors, our people, into our enemies, our be suspicious. Again, we have to be suspicious. It's trying to break apart unity that we should have as a species, as beings. See all this? Hierophant, King of Cups, Justice. And then looking, the quagmire is looking and looking and building and building and building and building to walk away, to create a situation and then go, I told you so. Now, the wild card in this we have is this one, the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune. Goal. The goal. That is the goal. The goal is to get who's profiting out of this situation. The person who can fill the refrigerator for maybe a couple weeks? No. The corporations that get those food stamp dollars into their pockets? Perhaps. 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 Don't you think so? Don't you think so? It can. But this system is to create more fear. Hello. Thank you for commenting on this. Think about it. Think about who wins in this situation. Who's the winner and who's the loser? Okay, so we eat and we defecate for 2 weeks. And they say the taxpayer's dime, which is already scratched out. But they don't talk about the taxpayer's dime when they're bombing Venezuela, when they're like, have their 1,000 plus bases all over the world. No, when they're going to, and Trump and so forth, and said, we're going to have nuclear testing. I mean, that we know bloody well that things are more advanced than just missiles that fly around endlessly over the planet. They've had all types of crafts. And I don't mean the ones 747s. I mean all types of crafts. You got to look at it. You got to peekaboo last October, November, December of last year, 2024, with all the drones and these very advanced crafts. You got to peekaboo. Now, they've been having these things for a long time. I mean, they just wanted to show off what they had. And there's this war talk. Yes, and they have their bunkers, the bases. Of course, other civilizations, other cultures, let's not forget civilizations, other cultures, other countries have bases, underground shelters for the people. We have nothing here in the United States, but what? Nothing but our bare skin, our skeletons, our skin. But yet they're wanting to break us down. And this food stamp thing and the army is just another worker class syndrome. Worker class, peasant class, underclass. The two classes developing, the upper and the lower. And they're not going to be suffering. Who's going to be suffering? The people that live from paycheck to paycheck, right? Paycheck to paycheck. And then they believe that, oh my God, even though I barely have enough gas to go to the store, somebody's going to rob me in the parking lot of my hot dogs and hamburger buns, right? Sick. It's a very sick situation we're in. Now, we're going to stand by and just act like monkeys, wild, caged up lab experimental monkeys, which they expect us to do? Or are we going to think a little bit about this and understand the process involved? The process is to have victory, total control of the people, which is all what you have right now with the different apps, the different Palantir and Narita joining forces, monitoring surveillance, the panoptic state of surveillance that's it's being put on Earth, and using the United States as the model among other countries, of course, because free thought coming out of who we've been mind controlled to be is happening. That's why they have to starve us by our food supply, and then put all these scenarios. But they are definitely putting, thank you for the likes, by the way, they are definitely putting troops around the food source. Can you imagine? You already have security guards on everywhere. Can you imagine having a military guy next to your supermarket? Oh, I feel so glad. And who's paying them to have that job? Isn't it a little late for that? It's a little late. But it seems as though there is a struggle going on. There is some drawback as to how that money is, the food stamp money, which is, it's cashed into people working in the jobs, bringing the food, cashing out cash registers, cashiers rather. I mean, they're not entirely ready for the robots to totally take over yet, which is why they want us to like fuss and fight among ourselves. Because once those robots get in there, the robots are going to take the place of the military too. Elon Musk, he wants to build an army. He is building an army of robots for military purposes. You remember Will Smith years ago playing I, Robot? It's here already. It's here now. So let's wake up. Let's wake up and think about this. But the truth is, they don't want us, they don't need humans. A certain class of people do not need a certain other class of people. It's perfectly obvious. The heavens are screaming it to us. So let's just wake up before we do anything irrational, before we think that, oh my, oh my. It's very complicated what's going on. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. Steps and steps and steps and steps. Like a chessboard. A long, slow chessboard. Thank you for the hearts. Well, I think that, do you really, what do you feel if you saw like, I remember traveling, I'm going to interrupt this one. I remember traveling in Asia, in certain Asian countries, and seeing the military here and there with machine guns or high-powered rifles, and they had their army clothes, their khaki clothes on, and like just getting a whiff of that. And then even when I went to the airport and I got checked out, body feelers all over my body by someone in the military. I mean, they did that to everybody in these countries that I've been in. And it's a very it's an unsettling feeling. You don't trust, but also here now we also have zero trust. Zero trust, which is, let me see your papers. Let me see your papers. Now we want to see your food stamp papers. Let me see. You're one of those. I work for my money. And you don't think a person who gets food stamps doesn't work for their money? Maybe they were laid off last week. Maybe they have to recertify, and they have to get they have to give their blood test. They have to give this. They have to give that. And maybe they just don't. They just things are falling apart. And what are you there for? Oh, you got food stamps. Ha ha. I could buy my own food. No, 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 no. Think about food stamps is business. Everything in capitalism is business. The heavens are screaming that out to us. Business. One thing affects, like if it's almost like a virus. Or let's say somebody has leprosy and they're in a room for people, and you don't have the leprosy, but that person has leprosy. Well, you have to spend time to see if you got that disease. The chances are you're getting the leprosy or that contagion is also up. It's going to affect you. And do you think they want you, who know them, around other people that want to stay in their fantasy world? Got it? All right. So I'm going to just a second. 1 second. All right, I just had to like take a break again. Yes, another way to divide the people. Now we have to understand we are strong if we stay together. You see somebody who needs something to eat, well, give them a can of ravioli. Big deal. I mean, big deal to you, but a big deal to them. Show our kindness. I mean, let's get back to the garden, right? Well, right now we're in the factory and one step to the morgue, to the junkyard. That's where we are as a people. One step to the junkyard. Zero trust. I don't trust you. I want to fleece you, and you're gonna steal from me. Sick. We're in a sick place, and we also we gotta smoke our pot. We gotta take our drugs. Let's work together, people. If you see anybody hungry right now, and you can afford like a jar of peanut butter, give it to them. Give it to them. Give them the peanut butter. And maybe you just eat peanut butter with a spoon. We'll get through this. We'll get through this. Don't harden your hearts towards your neighbors. Do you understand? Yes, you understand. Don't fall for that. Oh, they're going to rob supermarkets. I would say the supermarket who had could say, this is going to be, instead of getting into this, I'll give you these food. You're so hungry, eat this. Eat this. Eat this. I'm not talking about the grifters and the gangsters and stuff like that because they're always doing shit. They're always doing things. They're not going to stop. They're not going to stop because they're listening. They're stoned. They're not in the right senses. They're mentally ill. And our country as a whole is mentally ill. Mentally ill, promoting violence and class division. Division. I'm better than you, and I'm this, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, I'm that. The whole world altogether thinks we as Americans are dumb, stupid. Kick that through your heads. No matter how color-wise or religious-wise, we're all thought of as being dumb. We're not dumb. We're not stupid. And then we're not lab rats to go a certain tune of sound vibrations, whether it be in speech or in gangster rap. It's not going to make us lose our humanity. So pull it together. Pull it together. Yes, Goldilocks. Now remember, especially when you go into your job tomorrow, you go into your job, listen to your boss, how your boss treats you. And if you are the boss, watch the way your workers treat you, right? I mean, we're all getting paranoid because our country is going through a big evolution. In fact, we not so sure that we're going to be alive to see the fruition. I can't say that word. We're not going to be alive. We're not so sure we can maintain our physical form for all the changes that we are going through. Now, there's so many things happening, and they've always been happening, but as a veil has been lifted from our eyes, we can see the pathos, the sickness in front of our eyes, and we go, I'm not going there. And we can look at somebody who has a $5 million job per month, excuse me, telling us to go crazy, or people are going to go crazy. He's being paid, she or he's being paid to say that. And they're so great because they have like $5 or $6 million salary a month. Huh? Look what they're doing. They're selling out their own kind, us humans. And they're just patting themselves on the back. Good job, good job, good job. We're getting rid of useless eaters. Right. Right. There are, yes, we're being exploited. Thank you. We're being exploited. Right. We're being exploited. But exploitation is a two-way street. Two-way street. First of all, you got to say the words that are going to make somebody feel shabby, right? And then you feeling shabby, responding to somebody else who's saying those words to you, you give them power. Hey, put your raincoats on, people. They can't, don't listen. Listen to the universe. Listen to the sounds of the trees, the wind blowing. Think about the way this world should be, and it isn't. And don't be afraid to join with it. Consciousness is out there. Consciousness is more than just what we see in the mirror. Consciousness spreads out. And there's lots of people that are so effed up, they cannot go where you can go. But you know what? Consciousness is also contagious. It's contagious. That's right. Good luck on your store. Good luck, good luck, good luck, good luck. Food and shelter. I mean, that's the whole thing. We all live for food and shelter. I mean, we live for other things, but we have to have food and shelter. Every organism, mice, bugs, monkeys, birds, food and shelter. Food and shelter. And when a country is attacking its people over food and shelter in various ways, sophisticated ways, some places. Some places have very naive, immature, juvenile ways of attacking people for their food and shelter. There's plenty here on earth. And it's amazing how the richest people in the world are being the mouthpieces for too many people, food and shelter issues. Isn't that amazing? People who could buy so much and give so much are so cranky and exasperated because people are not obsessed with what they are obsessed with. And they are obsessed with, after they have all the money to buy every single thing that anyone could need, want, desire, dream about, but they don't have power over you. And don't surrender your power and go nuts because they're paying people to tell you you're going to go nuts because someone's going to steal your groceries in the parking lot. Yes, it is. It is what it is. So it's very. This world is bad right now. It's one thing we have to do is with discernment, like be realistic. There are lots of mentally ill outside. Lots of mentally ill. And people are becoming crazed and crazed and crazed because they have not learned to go inside, outside. They go outside, inside. They let the outside inside, and they don't. And after a while, they lose who they are. They don't know who they are inside. Now we're here for like a purpose. A purpose. What is it? I don't know. Everyone has their own special reason to be here, and it's not to not to be somebody else's clown or puppet. It's not that, or source of you know sickness. And these cultures are like I mean, you have mass poverty. Countries are like failing all over. And when you start killing people and normalizing war, normalizing nuclear death, you know there's mental illness. And we have a lot of leaders who are mentally ill. And we're put in power by mentally ill power freaks. You know? But they can only go so far. Only go so far as you allow them to go. And the whole ratio, 20% of the people have 80% of everything, and 80% of the people are trying for that remaining 20%. No, people, use your consciousness. We are not alone on this planet. We have each other, and we have other beings as well. We are not alone. And we are not free to just act stupid either. On either side, the 20 or the 80% who have and have not, who have and the other ones are grasping. There's a lot to think about with food stamps and the troops. Power, food, control. Power, food, control. And now, if we just think about what you eat, think about your diet. I mean, everybody has comfort food, but think about what you eat. And think about what you can grow your own. Grow your own. Grow it indoors. Grow it indoors. Grow it indoors. What do you have to eat? Do you have to? Because a lot of things are made A lot of things are unnecessary. And now get a robot for this, get a robot for this, get a robot for that. Robot, robot, robot. Go back to the old ways. It's unnecessary. A lot of things are unnecessary. Yeah. There's a lot of people. I mean, it's just people do not have people do not or people are empty right now. Most people, a lot, not most. I can't say what number, but a huge amount of people are empty because they listen to the greed. They listen to the wrong think. And there is a righteous way of thinking. And they're like lost. They're lost. Lots of people are lost. And it's hard to stay focused because there's always somebody attacking you because other people that are without, they can find people, they can see people. You can see people that have inner side, it being inside. You smell differently from people who are empty and walking around like zombies. There's a difference. You often wonder why this entertainment always put out zombie movies. It's a message, isn't it? Satirical message. And I don't mean like, virus or stuff like that. There's a message. Follow with that thinking. Let others do your thinking for you. You plan your actions. What do you have? You become a zombie. A zombie. You can just take a plant. You can take a grow light, a $5 grow light, put it in one of those clamp lights, and like get some dirt and grow your own something. You can grow a fruit tree indoors. You can grow bananas indoors. You have to they're not all 10 feet tall. Banana plant itself, but you can grow lettuce. You can grow sprouts. You can grow beans hey, you can live. You can change your environment. Forget about the easy boy chair and the sofa and the big, huge 40-inch TV screen. Why don't you just make a garden in your house, in your apartment? Certain things that you can eat. You can like me, you won't be able to grow every single thing, but you can certainly find out vertical growing, vertical indoor gardening. And then other things you could do. Don't listen to certain things. Meditate. Think about what your mission is. Things like that. Things like that. I mean, in the last depression, like everybody says, we're going to have a worse depression than the 20s or the 30s, 1930s. But it would save the people before they had their gardens. They had their gardens. They planted. They did this. They did that. They weren't like, I got to go to the store. Oh, the shelves are empty. Who gives? What we have to show, we don't really care if the shelves are empty because we are like going to deal in a different manner. We're going to buy bulk. We're going to think about different ways. We're not going to be running every week like a slaughtered chicken, a headless chicken. We're going to think about what we're going to do. Think about it. We're going to examine our diets. We're going to examine the way we think. That's what we have to do, and we're not going to be given a chance, supposedly, to think, because there's military, martial law, and there's other reasons for the martial law. But the main thing is they want to reduce. The 20% want to reduce the 80%. That's fact. I think I'm going to tie this one up. I'm going to tie this one up, but think about it. Think about the stage, the drama, and think what part you're going to play in it. Or you're just going to go, I see what they're doing. I see where this is going. It's crap. It's crap. And I see my country is in trouble. That's the most important thing. Food being denied, troops stationed at supermarkets, food pantries. Another excuse. Think about where our country is going, and do you agree with this? And think about the optics. the visuals. Because this one thing about the sense of sight, and plus, other sound frequencies, but the sense of sight is a powerful thing. A powerful thing. I also I'm working in a few visual things that I'll show you in another day, another talk about war and peace and what's happening. So until then, I'm going to say goodbye and thank you for the likes, thank you for the hearts, and let's get through this. Let's see what happens if they're brave enough to do something. If the power structure is brave enough, and because remember, it's not just the stamp of the people who they say who don't work. Even though layoffs, remember layoffs, thousands and thousands and thousands every week. It's not just paying the people who work connected with food issuance, food, the cashiers, the food people, the truckers, gas, blah, blah, blah. It's more than that. It's optics, food and shelter. Good luck, people. Good luck, and thank you again. Bye-bye.